And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from the Lakers Fast Break Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm dropping an episode tonight of the PCC Multiverse on the Pop Culture Cosmos channel, where you can check out Josh and I talking about Joker, Folie à Deux, the success of the Wild Robot, and more, including Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power Season 2. Go ahead and check it out here this weekend, wherever you get your podcasts. Inside Sports Fantasy Football, Chris Sardieri and I dropped an episode recently in regards to Week 5 of the NFL and are the Vikings for real? So go ahead and check that out. Inside Sports Fantasy Football. Also, as well, of course, our great members. You can become a member today for just $2.99, where you get badges, emojis, and big shoutouts, plus some insider information I gave to our inside members for today's show. But you have to be quiet about it. Shh, don't tell the rest of the chat. It's a surprise for later on. But big shout out to Raphael562, who just became a member. Search and Destroy, Naja Americano, Narukami, Too Tall, of course, the Legend 350, Weston, Moonlight Dreams, Remy, Retro 4037, Intel Wild, Samir, JSJ, Kurt Affair, Darren, Sports Baby, and Xbox. All these great guys are members of the LFB, and you too can become a member today for just $2.99 a month. Our good shout out to, of course, our friends at Lakerholics.com. John Costa's Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner. Please subscribe to that. Of course, Joe Soros here, Ox1947 at LakersBall.com, and Simblades, Simblades with a Y.com, and of course, Empire Jeff TV covering the Dodgers and the Lakers. Lakers in 5, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights, also as well, of course, the John McCalian channel. Big shout out to him. He is still on a great health drive. He's lost even more weight, so I'm very happy for John. Big shout out to you, my friend. Wishing you continued health and happiness. And of course, also as well, please like and subscribe today. Subscribe if you get the latest notifications on when we go live on the air with the latest Lakers Fast Break podcast. We're also, remember, tomorrow night, 7:30, it's in Palm Springs. The Lakers start their exhibition season against the Minnesota Timberwolves. We'll be chatting away with our usual stuff on playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. And then Joe himself is going to give you what you want. He's going to give you what you need. He's going to give you the nightcap after the game. Right there for you. Yes, the first nightcap of the season will be coming up after the exhibition game, Lakers and the T-Wolves. Speaking of Joe, at the end of the show, we got a big response from a very surprising source, a media source per se. I got the big shout out from Nick on it, and I'm like, oh, wow, got to check it out, to a couple of Joe's infamous rants. So be prepared at the end of the show to hear some fun and interesting comments made about Joe Soro at the end of the show as well. But it is day 3 of training camp for the Los Angeles Lakers. And, well, the love affair with JJ Redick continues. A lot of people are still excited to see what's going on. He's implementing a lot of new things. He's going deep into the analytics, which a lot of the players and the analysts have liked, except AD. AD kind of, old-fashioned, grumbled a little bit about it, but he's willing to roll with it seems like, from his comments today. But we wanted to talk about and discuss some of the things that were looked at in day 3. Gabe Vincent also wanted to talk about the bench rotation and a little bit more. And here today to discuss that with me is a good man indeed. I just mentioned earlier, he is Ox1947 at LakersBall.com and Simblades with a Y.com. It is Joe Soro, and Joe, Juan is nervous as hell about the Dodgers and Padres this weekend before we get into Lakers training camp, day 3. Wearing the Dodger blue he is. I'll even pull out some Dodger blue this weekend.
There's no feeling right now for Saturday's game. not nervous, not confident. It's a position you get used to after a while, at least on my end. You're almost waiting to see how things develop.
Mm-hmm.
Changing of the pitchers today was interesting. Yamamoto's going to start game one instead of Flattery. So
is that what you have done?
You're awesome.
the reason why they did it made sense.
Thank you, Doobie.
They wanted Yamamoto to be available for game 5 in case they got to pitch game 5. And that'd give Yamamoto 5 days off instead of 4. So that's the reasoning Andrew Friedman gave, which makes sense. The good feeling on it is we saw what he did last week to the Padres, and that is Shohei Ohtani. And it's not the execution that I'm curious to watch, because you kind of get used to how good he is, right? And you're expecting it. What I did notice, and it's going to only magnify in the playoffs, is when you see the pitchers start to kind of press when the 8 batter is up to bat, and let's say there's 1 out, you can see the stress. That part you can't buy. That part you cannot prepare for.
Seven has the same question that I was going to ask. Great question, Seven. Do you think the Padres will try to pitch around Ohtani?
They can't. How are they going to pitch around him? He's going to steal second. He steals third. He hasn't been caught stealing in, I think, 2 months. So if you want to put Ohtani on base and let Mookie earn it, go ahead and do it. Go ahead. Do it. I dare you. That's only going to go so far. But the best part is the pitchers pressing when the 8 batter is up and there's only 1 out. Because now, if that guy gets on base, now they know they either got to hope for a double play if he's at first, or they know that that Ohtani's going to at least get 1 guy on base before he bats. That part right there is what I can't wait to see. I want to see what these guys do and how they work around it. Do you want to pitch? They want to pitch around him? Go ahead. If they're pitching around him, it's very likely that you're going to give Mookie Betts, who is a future Hall of Famer in his prime, MVP, 2 guys on base for him to hit. You want to take that chance? Go ahead. Oh, and if he gets a hit, then you got to deal with Freddie Freeman. Then you got to deal with Teo. Go ahead. Do it. I dare you. And it's a no-win situation either way. Because if you do throw at Ohtani's either going to get a single or he's going to send something sailing. And you're screwed either way. So there was a quote at the beginning of the year that has never left my brain. They said, you can neutralize Mookie, you can neutralize Freeman, but you're not gonna be able to neutralize Ohtani, Mookie, and Freeman. One of those guys is gonna jack you. And the only reason why we hadn't seen more of it this year is because Freddie Freeman had a finger issue and a family crisis that kept him out.
Is he healthy now?
His ankle is still sore, but word is he's playing Saturday.
He's going to gut that out.
Yeah. And sorry, you made me lose my train of thought. Freddie didn't play a lot this year, or I shouldn't say he didn't play his normal schedule. Freddie's an Iron Man. He usually plays every game. Mookie got hit by that damn ball and got out 6 weeks. So if those instances don't happen, and those instances are freakish things, it's not everyday type stuff. If Freeman's kid doesn't get sick, Freeman likely doesn't miss a lot of games. And if Mookie doesn't get hit by the ball to break his finger, he's gonna be playing. And the Dodgers probably would have won 105 games this year. So we didn't really get a chance to see all three at full strength for a long period of time up until this last few weeks, and we've seen what's happened. So if you guys, and I'm talking to the San Diego people, if you want to go ahead and pitch around Ohtani, I will not disagree. Go ahead.
And let's
Pitch
hope
around
he keep,
Ohtani.
and for everyone out there, let's hope the big cuddly teddy bear that Joe is keeps his smile on his face all weekend long. Let's hope he does. What's up, Dwight? What's up, Xbox? Great to have you here. Darren, also as well. Truly appreciate it. It is the Lakers Fast Break. It is Joe Soro along with me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching, listening. Truly appreciate it. Day 3 of training camp for the Lakers. Again, some of the things I wanted to go ahead and talk to you about, starting with Gabe Vincent. Gabe Vincent was talked about quite a bit for day 3 in regards to the supposed versatility he can give you by playing both on ball and off ball, point guard and shooting guard. He indicated today that he is healthy, 100% ready to go. He wasn't truly healthy at the end of the season after coming back for the knee injury, but he feels that he's good to go at this point in time. Of course, he is a very streaky shooter, but gave you good moments at times in Miami. With the Lakers, what do you think he can actually provide? I mean, I'm having this like deja vu conversation with you that we had a year ago when we signed him for $30 million for 3 years, roughly. So I ask you again, what can he do this year for a depth challenged Lakers team? You're on mute.
Stupid ass setup. We got to figure something out with this stupid thing.
Big cuddly teddy bear indeed, Xbox.
His job will be to cover D'Angelo's backside when it comes to having when you need a guard that can guard someone of significance. That's where I think he plays a huge factor here. So if you have certain matchups that come during the year that will require someone who's got a little bit more physicality in his game, Gabe Vincent's the guy. You'll have to sacrifice shooting with that, but it's a good trade-off if he's playing against someone who might not be as strong defensively, but someone you need to neutralize a little bit offensively.
Doobie says we need him to hit his threes. Consistency has always been kind of an issue for him. He is a streaky shooter. He can go on a heater for about I've seen him on 2-week binges. I've actually had him before as far as with fantasy basketball. So I've been able to take advantage of that, but he can also struggle for great periods of time. And like you said, he needs to bring that physicality. Physicality is something that JJ Redick in this training camp has tried to make and put an emphasis on so far in camp. Analytics aside, I think that Gabe Vincent obviously will play a key role again for a very questionable, backcourt, depth, bench, whatever you want to say, before we get into JHS and some of the other things that are going on in training camp. Gabe Vincent has to play a key role on this team this year.
Isn't that kind of obvious?
It's very obvious.
And they got to make shots.
Yep.
Is that the best we got, folks?
Well, the reason why, Darren, and I know he said Vincent.
Let me finish. Let me finish here real quick.
Oh, no worries. You got it. My bad.
Yeah.
My bad.
We're gonna. You got to be careful when you fall in that pit of redundancy. We all know you need to make shots to win these games. I get that. But this team still has not had an identity since 2021. Or I should say a good identity.
Mm-hmm.
They've had bad identities since. Either they were too old in 2022. They were lackluster coaching-wise in 2023. Whatever. Key is, what is the identity going to be this year? Are they going to be physical? Are they going to last playing physical, or are they going to pansy out? You can sit there and tell me all you want about how JJ Redick is going to make these guys physical. My question right after that is, are you all going to flame out in December because it was physical? Because the players these days are as wussified as you've ever seen. Who plays all year anymore? No one. So is that going to work with these pile of pansies? That's the question you want to ask yourself if you want to be a physical team. Does the NBA rules allow you to be physical? All good questions to ask yourselves. The Lakers made their shots last year, folks. I'm tired of hearing that same thing here. They made their shots last year. They stayed healthy last year. It didn't mean shit in the end. They have to rebound and do all those things. If they don't rebound, they don't limit scoring opportunities with their opponents, they are not going to win a lot of games. And it's going to be a struggle again. The positiveness in hiring a new coach, at least this guy, is maybe this guy won't look at a game in December and say, it doesn't matter when you're already under 500. See, that's the difference. That was the difference. But I got to stop calling people names because it's not professional. But you had a very, very bad coach who took and this is where the in-season tournament was a detriment to the Lakers. You win this tournament, and then you have this false sense of security that you need to all of a sudden kind of relax. No. The hell with the tournament. If you wanted to rest guys, rest them during the tournament and then make sure they're ready to play so they can win an NBA championship. We don't care about an in-season tournament. I didn't even think about it until just now, this last few weeks. But the continued rhetoric that this team needs to make their shots, we get that. That's every team in the NBA. Also, staying healthy, that's every team in the NBA. But will this team rebound, play defense, and do all those things at the same time? Are they talented enough to do it? On paper, they are not. Will JJ Redick press a button during the year that makes them go at another gear? Because that is the only hope based off what's here now. The hope has to be that he triggers something in their minds that says, we are going to not only guard your ass, but we're going to go get the rebound the second that ball's in the air. That's a different mentality. That's a beast mentality. Who's capable of thinking that way on this team? Who has that fire that you know of based off of who we know? Do you see Austin Reeves doing it? Maybe. Rui? Maybe. D'Angelo? Maybe when he's motivated. LeBron, when he wants to. AD? Sure. Will JHS do it? Will Maxwell Lewis do it? Will Dalton Connect do it? Those are the questions you want to ask yourselves, because they're going to need all these guys to be on the same page. I gave you a nice cliche on that one. And they are. They're going to have to all be on the same page, because this has to be a team defense and rebounding synergy. It can't be an individual, because the individual is not talented enough. And the second guy in this is LeBron James, who cannot exert the kind of energy that you need for 82 games during the year. So you're already kind of getting a half full player that's going to be putting out that effort on the defensive end. It's a lot to think about. And Tony Lee, that is the quote that ended things with Darvin Ham for me. That quote right there. I'm gonna read it. Tony Lee, thank you for putting that up. Yes. I am tired. He's tired. He's tired of people living and dying with every game. Asshole. Sorry, I had to throw at this point because I read the quote and I gotta go. I gotta go all the way. Asshole. You cost your team a run last year because of that mentality. Imagine if you'd won 4 or 5 more games. You would have been sitting in the 4th seat if you had won 5 more games. But no, we live and die off each game. Why don't you go petition the NBA and have them reduce the games then, asshole? Or are you going to play to win? What were you waiting for? What were you holding back on? Like, what was, seriously, like, where was the brain there? You're already toast if they don't win. Go all the way. You never see me complain about 2021, do you? I know I'm a nobody. I know no one gives a damn what I think except for a few people. But think about it for a second. Have I ever complained about 2021? No. Because everybody played their ass off. AD missed almost half the season, and the Lakers were still number 1 on defense. And then when he came back, he got busted. But you know what? He tried. He busted his ass trying to come back, and it didn't work. Shit happens sometimes. I'd rather have you kill yourself to get back and get injured than play it soft and still get your ass kicked. At least I'll have some respect for you. And that kind of mentality, it'll carry you longer to places. It'll carry you longer in everything in life, especially in sports. I mean, you're getting paid $50 to $60 million a year, 20 to 30 million, 15 million, 18 million. Like, guys, the lowest guy that's making money, that's actually playing, is making what, 3 or 4 million?
Yeah.
5 million? Guys, do you have any idea how much money that is every year? Even with taxes taken out. You could hire anything and everyone. You're a professional, right? Be ready. But we don't hold that accountable. You have the head coach making excuses, and you want players to extend that. And by the way, the whole Darvin Ham blaming thing, that plays a big part on why I don't like this team. So you guys are now throwing him under the bus. You guys are the professionals. You're the one that are players. Why didn't you guys say something last year and say, why are you telling the media that we live in, that the fans live and die? We should be living and dying. We're the pros. We're the one playing. We're the ones making 10, 20, 30, $60 million a year. You should be doing that. But you have a coach who's making excuses like he's some fan. That's bad. Bad optics, bad execution, and it makes sense. 1 playoff win in 2 seasons with LeBron James and Anthony Davis on your team.
So Darvin Ham, after he got fired, went back to Milwaukee. He's now an assistant coach under Doc Rivers. Funny how just today Doc Rivers announced that he has a guest coach on hand now. If you saw the newswire, in Rajon Rondo, and who will actually be an advisor to the team, I believe, in some capacity for the rest of the season. Your thoughts on Rajon Rondo trying to become a coach in this league? We've talked about it before, and we talked about it before as an option for the Lakers, but it looks like he's trying to go the head coaching route at some point in time down the road.
Unfortunately for Rondo, he will never make it as a head coach unless he has one just perfect scenario. And that is a star player of the magnitude of a Tim Duncan, a Dirk Nowitzki, a Pau Gasol, someone like that who will eat shit from him and everyone else will have to fall in line. If he doesn't find that player, if he finds a diva like LeBron or like an Anthony Edwards, he'll never make it. He's too, you want to talk about grown-ass men, Rondo's one of them. Him belittling somebody in practice, you're going to need someone that knows how to handle that. And
I think the words "dress you down" would be more appropriate.
That's a good one to say. Yeah. If not, he will never make it as a coach, ever. Not as a head coach. He will destroy your life, and you'll go in the corner and start crying like like a little girl, like I'm sorry, like a little Ben Simmons, and want to go sit at home and play video games.
So with training camp day 3, and pretty much essentially now we're in the exhibition season, so you could say training camp is done for the time being. Joe, another name that I wanted you to talk about, you mentioned him earlier, is JHS. And we go back deja vu. We talked about a year ago in regards to the same questions I posed to you in regards to Gabe Vincent. JHS was singled out today by members of the players and also as far as the staff, as far as his, showing out per se, as far as looking good in training camp. Once again, we talked about this a year ago when I believe it was him, if I'm not mistaken, that was the MVP of training camp last year. So with that, your thoughts on JHS, because the reason why Gabe Vincent would have to play at the 2 is if JHS, who is strictly a point guard, would be the backup 1 if he earns the playing time to do so.
I don't think about JHS, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I really don't. I think he's Jordan Hill of guards, an absolute bust that was picked 30 slots too early and on the wrong team. He suffers from a lot of what pretty much most of the guys that are supposedly going to come up this year have. No vertical, no first step, no lateral athleticism, freakish athleticism, no lateral freak. I don't want to say freakish. That's not probably the right word, but no lateral movement to where you feel like they can stay in front of certain players in the NBA. Can't shoot and isn't particularly tall. So what exactly does JHS, and you have to deal with the LA headache. What exactly is JHS? What exactly did they see in JHS? Oh, and he has a back problem. What did they see in this guy? I
Because
don't understand.
he was mentioned and singled out, not the first round pick this year.
I heard
but
this. You said it. We already heard this garbage. Anthony Davis said he was awesome in practice last year.
No, but as far as the 9-man rotation is concerned,
where is he going to fit the 9-man rotation?
I'm just telling you what was. He has a possibility.
Where is he going to fit? Let's discuss that. You have AD, LeBron, Reeves, Rui, and D'Angelo. Then you have 3 after that. Who's going to play? Is it going to be Max Christie? Connect, and Jackson Hayes has to play in that rotation. There's no backup center. So who else? Connect, Max Christie, and you have Jackson Hayes. That's it.
You were putting Connect in there, but JJ Redick did not in that original 9-man equation.
You want to put JHS, who can't shoot?
He also mentioned Cam Reddish as well.
Cam Reddish, who can play defense, which will have spurts. But how long do his spurts last?
Until he gets to the offensive side of the ball.
Forget about the offense. I'm talking about focus. There's plenty of guys in the NBA that made careers playing well on one side of the court. But at least they were there game in and game out. Cam Reddish has shown zero ability to play in an 82-game season where he's productive, at least somewhere. Why is he going to do it all of a sudden now? He didn't do it in Atlanta. He didn't do it in New York. I don't know how long he was in Portland, but what? Where? What? You just paid Max Christie $8 million a year. Connect, you just told everybody this guy was the steal of the draft. What, you're going to go stick him in as an 11th guy? Steal of the draft. Jackson Hayes is your only backup big that's functional. He actually had a good year last year. I thought it would be worse. That was the one thing I was wrong with last year. I thought he'd be worse, but he came up. Good for him. But he's still not going to be able to play defense the way you need to. He'll do a lot of pick and rolls. He'll be athletic, which he is. But the second he starts going back and forth against these Denver teams, against Minnesota, with anybody on the perimeter that can drop step, move around, get to the basket, shoot from mid-range, shoot from 3, he's going to be on a carousel. They're going to have to show us something we did not expect. Now, what I say that is it's going to be a mental thing that happens. But at the same time, how much more mental? Because this is still an athletic sport. Athletes make talent make things. We've gone through the list. When you look at the NBA and when teams win, they have freakish talent winning. Would you say Jason Tatum is a freakish athlete? Yes. Jaylen Brown? Yes. You look at even someone like Porzingis. The guy's 11 feet tall, can shoot from anywhere. That's who wins championships. Before then, you had Jokic, the MVP. You have Jamal Murray, he's a freaking hummingbird, all over the place. Michael Porter Jr., another guy who's almost 7 feet tall, could shoot from half court anytime. Aaron Gordon. You ever seen Aaron Gordon live? Forget about TV. Aaron Gordon is not human when he goes up. And he's not even as good as he was 5-6 years ago. And he's still good. That stuff matters, guys. That's why those teams win. Who on this team besides Anthony Davis, who's not particularly the rim destroying, jump in the air like Blake Griffin type talent, right? LeBron, you definitely used to be, but he's not there anymore, right? Shows spurts. But who else? Who on this team has freakish athleticism? You see that? Because that stuff sometimes helps. Sometimes your talent, your ability to get to the basket and jump over the building, that sometimes can help bridge maybe some of the basketball IQ, or if you have a numbnuts coach like we had last year. It's a lot. It's a lot of ifs. The Lakers 2024-2025 team should be called the Los Angeles Ifs.
Once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. It is Joe Sower along with me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks so much again for watching this and truly appreciate it. S1, you were exactly right. Maybe it is LeBron James in every way possible trying to turn back the clock. Now that he has his son running around with him at practice every day, that he wants the DJ at the beginning or before and after practice. I mean, that's something that Bron wanted implemented. And of course, the Lakers were ready to oblige on that. But Joe, getting back to the actual training camp itself, there's one name that a lot of people are asking about. A lot of individuals in our chat, and of course our friend that always emails us whining, quote unquote, about Max Christie all the time in Rodell. Max Christie does have to play a critical role, regardless of our differing opinions on Max Christie. He has to play a critical role. You've invested now $32 million, plus the fact that you paid millions of dollars to move up in the draft just to select him. You've already paid him an amount just to develop into that individual. He's still very young, but he's been inconsistent. When he's been given opportunities, he hasn't gotten it done. Last year in the exhibition season, he was absolutely terrible, and he didn't get it done. There were some bright lights of hope with him. The Cleveland game that he started, he played very well. The New York game, he had moments there, but it wasn't able to put it together consistently in his second season after a terrific summer league that season before. So we come into a situation now where the Lakers, just by the process of elimination and the fact that you have a very, very questionable bench, a very questionable line of depth, this is a great opportunity for him to finally live up to the promise and the belief that the front office clearly has in him, because obviously a point of contention for them with Darvin Ham, despite the fact that he made all those mistakes, Joe, and started Prince, played Reddish a lot, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Of course, I didn't even want Reddish on the team, but hey, he was there. They played him ahead of Max Christie at times. That obviously ruffled a lot of feathers in the front office. But you know what? Again, this is his opportunity, Joe. To you and to Stone in the past, you thought he wasn't even an NBA player. I said he'll find somewhere in the league to be a rotation player. By God, it better be with the Lakers, and by God, it better be this year, Joe.
I guess you can be an NBA player if you somehow find. I mean, DeAndre Jordan's not an NBA player right now. He's on a team, right?
Oh,
Still.
yeah. But he knows the right people.
So technically, we're wrong on that. But as far as a capable NBA player, not someone who's just somehow clinged on to the 11th or 12th spot on a team. Max Christie played 14 minutes last year, if I remember correctly, averaged 4.2 points a game. I don't know why I remember 4.2. He didn't particularly shoot too well. Oh, I know why I remember it was 4.2, because he averaged 4.2 and he shot 42% from the field. That's why I remember. 4 to 2 always made sense, right? So you're asking him to now, let's say, double up his minutes. So does that mean, according to algebra, he's going to average 8.4 points a game? Is his shooting ability going to go up to, I don't know, 44%? Is he going to take that big of a leap? You know, when you look at players when they come out, let's look at Alex Caruso. Let's look at Austin Reeves, since those are current, modern, not highly thought of players, so much so that they weren't even drafted, right? When they first started showing what they had, you tell me, Gerald, you tell me this. When you first started seeing them do some things where you're like, this guy's not bad.
In that summer league, he was
Right?
really impressive.
Right? Good. So then that's how it starts. I'm seeing something here. Cool. Then all of a sudden, some things happen during summer league. Then it's training camp. Then you're like, it starts to kind of slowly keep getting better. And that's usually how it works in the NBA. And then eventually it turned into what it turned into. But how often do you see and then all of a sudden in 1 year, whoa, what happened? How often does that happen in the NBA?
Quite a bit.
When? Who? Who has sucked donkey nuts for the first 2 years of their career and then all of a sudden turned into something where they're a legitimate rotation player?
Sometimes it's about the different, Chauncey Billups. I would probably start off with him.
Chauncey Billups was the 3rd pick in the draft,
and he was a washout with the Celtics.
Your definition of washout versus
didn't he get waived by the Celtics?
He didn't live up to the 3rd pick, but he ended up.
Okay. I'm just saying. Right? I'm just answering your question. So
I'm not talking about someone who was a high pick, who had talent, didn't work out, and then worked out later. We're talking about someone who's not good from the beginning. Chauncey Billups, even though it didn't work out in, what was it, Boston, and then where did he go? To Denver the first time?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it didn't work out. And then, Boston at that time.
Could you say Caruso fits in that category? Because
Caruso, I just gave you the example. Are you paying attention? Caruso was showing stuff the second he started playing. He never sucked. But it's easy to work off that because he was an undrafted player, whereas Chauncey Billups was this top 3 pick. If Chauncey Billups was a non-drafted player at Boston, he would not have been in that situation.
But
right?
Remember, he was a point guard at first, who eventually was playing out of position in the NBA, and he's back on the team that was originally he was a G League player for in Oklahoma City. That he didn't make it ultimately, and then he landed on the Lakers, and we all know the history from there.
What else?
But with Christie, in regards to him, is 8 points a game going to be enough for the team coming off the bench?
No.
They need someone that can get double figures for you, don't you think?
No, they need more than that. They need someone who can probably be close to they need a player that can come off the bench and you're not holding your breath that the lead's going to blow up. That's what we've done that's what the Lakers fans have done the last 2 seasons. We've held our breath. AD's sitting. LeBron is sitting. Can you hold the lead?
That's a good one, Ralph. Jordan Poole, before he got that huge contract. And
there's been plenty of players that came out and played amazing and then died. The worst one was Darren Williams. That guy was on his way to a Hall of Fame career. I don't know what the hell happened there. There are plenty of guys that play well and then fizzle out. That's not something that's not normal. People get paid and then they check out. That's normal. That happens. But I don't remember anyone who sucked ass from the beginning and all of a sudden, third, fourth year, all of a sudden become this rotational god. Again, there might be somebody out there, but I can't put a thought to it. Who? If you guys have someone, let me know. Chauncey Billups doesn't count. Chauncey Billups was the third pick in the draft.
Yeah, but you didn't specify at what point in the draft. You just said it doesn't matter. It does.
Chauncey Billups is going to go to Hall of Fame. That's a terrible
example. You just said who struggled. You just said a player that just struggled.
Chauncey Billups is going to go to the Hall of Fame. What are you talking about? You want a championship. You want an MVP in the finals.
Your specific words was a player that struggled the first couple seasons.
Now?
Answering the question.
I'm talking about run-of-the-mill guys, second-round picks, guys that are not drafted.
Then can finish off.
Yeah, I gotta tell you my walls are tan. To be specific,
would be nice if you would have been more specific.
Do I have to say I'm wearing blue right now?
You're wearing Dodger blue. Darius Garland, did he? I'd have to check to see how much he played in his first couple of years in the season. In his career, Darius I thought he played early on.
Pick, guys, are you not getting it? He hasn't had enough time. He hasn't. He's good. He was good. If you're not playing as well the first year, yeah, okay. But I'm talking about we've had 2 years. 2 years to see this guy.
But Rodell, in his whining, quote unquote, would still come back at you. He's still young, Joe.
It doesn't matter.
21.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what anyone says about you, especially when it comes to this topic. I want to get it through your head. It's not about me. It's not about me having a forum to talk and yap. It's what it is. I'm just telling you in a way where you're not probably used to. Someone, oh, man, you're negative. Oh, man, you're this. What does negativity have to do with this? The guy averages 4 points a game. What do you want me to do about it? You think I want Max Christie to average 4 points a game and then go pay him $8 million a year? You think I like get a grip with yourselves and pay attention? And you're hearing the same shit you heard before. What do you want me to do? Oh, well, we'll go get them next time, guys. If you want that shit, go listen to Allie Clifton and Geeter and Worthy on Sportsnet. That's what they're there for. And the reason why they have a job there is so they can kiss everyone's ass. Because no one likes to not have their ass kissed when they're billionaires and millionaires and athletes and famous, because if they do, then they exile you. They have all their minions and their stooges and all their stupid shit. Get those people out of the way. But they can't do that with us because I own my shit. I don't need anybody's money. I got my own money. And I don't need money like these assholes do. Okay? I don't need to go buy 8 yachts. I don't even want one. No matter how rich I get. I might rent one for a party. I ain't buying one. What the hell am I going to do with a yacht? Go get a cardigan sweater and go smoke pipes? Go hang out with the country club peeps? I can go hang out with country club peeps right now. I do business with them. Y'all got to get with it. You can't complain and then do nothing about it. The complaint now is this team sucks. You need to provide information that proves they don't suck as of 10/3/2024. Joe, why do they suck? That's not right. They did this. They did that. What did they do? You tell me. They got Dalton Connect. Okay. What else? Oh, they got a new coach. Okay. Who's going to rebound? Because Dalton Connect didn't get drafted to rebound. Who's going to back up Anthony Davis in a league where the big man has come back, in a league where the big man has just won 4 straight MVPs? A big man league where it seems like owns our big man. Whether it's Embiid, whether it's Jokic, or Sabonis in Sacramento, and now Wembanyama's coming. God help us all. Seriously. You all got to get with it. And I'm not talking about the people on the chat. This is for the future. This is probably for the person that watches the show maybe a year from now, maybe 2 years from now, who doesn't get the shtick. It doesn't matter what you think, what you feel in life. It matters what is. And how are you going to handle that? And how are you going to open the communication on it? If you're sitting there and you have a problem eating too much food and stuffing your ass and you're fat as fuck and you're worried about your weight and all this, yet you keep doing it, what do you want someone to say? Oh, it's okay. I have the same problem. Oh my God, we'll get through it. Okay. And then a year later, guess what? You just gained another 30 pounds. You know what you need to be told? Stop fucking eating and start exercising. This is no different. You need rebounds. Where the fuck is the rebounder? Where? AD can't play 48 minutes a game for 82 times a year plus playoffs. Where's your other rebounder? Oh, we're going to make D'Angelo Russell play defense, shoot, and then we get rebounds, right? Oh, no, we're going to make Austin Reeves do that and Rui Hachimura. And we're going to make them do that when they've never done it before. How long has D'Angelo Russell been in the league? He's been in the league since 2015. All of a sudden, J.J. Redick is going to be the genie from Aladdin and just start, what, giving wishes out? Hey, Aladdin or whatever the hell his name was. Hey, can you make me a rebounder? Can you make me a guy that can shoot and play defense at the same time? You're going to have to come with information. And I'm not going to sit there and listen to stupid shit, too. I'm going to tell you, stop talking for a second. How is this going to happen? How is Max Christie going to be a part of a rotation when he's not talented enough? Is he just going to all of a sudden be great or really good or good because you feel like he's going to be? Where this summer can you explain why? Joe, I was in the facility, and I'm going to hypothetically say this. Joe, I was at the facility. Let me tell you this about, hey, Joe, seriously, man. Look, the guy was running through screens. He was working out 3-on-3s with the other guys, Cam Reddish, with Christian Wood when he wasn't doing whatever the hell he's doing with his shovels. He was in there every day for a month, all of July. He was running through screens. He was making shots like Reggie Miller. He was going to the basket. He was, crossing over people. Oh, really? Oh, shit. Gerald and the chat room. Guys, my boy told me, hey, He saw Christie, man, and he was balling. And now I'm telling you guys that's what's going on. Have you all heard anything like that? Have you heard anything about anyone this summer other than the Olympic team? All I've heard that I can remember right away is that Hillbilly Kobe was playing golf all summer. Good to know. Good to know that he was playing golf all summer. Good. I'm hoping that helps his basketball game. But I'm supposed to, be positive. Okay. Be positive.
Once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. It is Joe Soro, a.k.a. Ox1947 at LakersBall.com. And you know him also as well from his company, Simblades with a Y.com. I truly appreciate everybody watching, listening. CJ, I wanted to go ahead and thank you for helping me make the correction on that as far as Stone Hansen's Twitter, at report_court, of course, on Twitter. Want to go ahead again, at report_court on Twitter. Big shout out to Stone. Stone, I reached out to you, my friend. Hopefully you're watching this. You'll be able to come on the show as soon as possible. But Joe, the exhibition season starts tomorrow. What are some of the things you're looking for the games in Palm Springs? JJ has specifically said that AD and LeBron will get some time during the game, but what things specifically will you be looking for when we light it up on playback tomorrow, watching the game in Palm Springs?
We're going to see the fundamentals. We're going to see the improvement in shooting, improvement in spacing, improvement in ball control. We'll see. We'll see if Max Christie enhanced his game. We're not going to really know enough with a preseason game. These guys don't play hard in preseason games anymore. They don't play hard any time anymore, it seems. So I don't know really where I can go with that. But little here and there will likely give us an idea.
What about some of the bench guys? Since the 9-man rotation, the vaunted.
I don't have any expectations on anything right now.
No, I'm just asking a question.
I got to see it. I can't really comment at this point. I have you all know where I'm at on this. I'm not very, very comfortable right now with how the team is set up, and I haven't been since the draft.
But I'm just asking you real quick, because of the 9-man rotation, JJ already gave a shout out to, and that there's still spots within this 9-man rotation. You don't think some of those guys on the back end, say spots 7 through 12, aren't going to give out their best effort this exhibition season to try and earn a spot?
No. I don't believe any of these guys will do anything until I see it.
Okay.
I have no trust in anyone on this team or organization, except maybe AD and Rui a little bit.
Okay. Everybody
talks nice the first day of school. Everybody's like, all right, we're going to have a good year. Yeah. New year. Yeah. All right. New shirts. Yeah. New uniforms. Yeah. What happens when it gets dirty? Are you going to cry about it? Or are you going to go get it washed and then put it back on or not care? I don't have any expectations at all at this point. I'm going to sit and I'm going to observe and I'm going to see what happens.
So on that note, before we head on out, and again, tomorrow night, it is playback.tv, South Lakers Fast Break. We will be there come game time. And then afterwards, again, it's an all Joe nightcap. Joe's coming back for the nightcap after the game. And that'll be available right here for you on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. But before we head on out, my friend, Laker Nick is at it again, my friend. He made us aware of some different individuals, I'll say the least, that took a keen understanding to a couple of your shorts. So I wanted you to go ahead and listen to this. First off, this is the first short that you are a star of that he, again, got a wind of as far as a certain outlet having an opinion on one of your rants. So let's go ahead. I'm going to put this on the screen now, and I'm going to go ahead and play it for everybody out there. If you haven't yet checked it out, it is a short that's available on the YouTube channel right now. I don't think this is the one that got banned by that got us banned off of TikTok, but it is still for Joe in raw form once again. Hey, listen to this.
Get the right goddamn coach. You still have a very capable Anthony Davis who has been shunned by this league because of you guys and the fact that most of the voters are all from those pieces of shit up in the Northeast and via Ohio. Yes, that's where they're from. And I'm going to find you guys all. When I get a bigger forum, I'm going to call all you a-holes out and make sure that your votes make sense so that I don't have to deal with watching Fred Hickman's all over the place. For those of you who don't know what the hell I'm talking about, Fred Hickman voted for Allen Iverson in 2000. He was the only one that didn't vote for Shaq for MVP. And Shaq's season in 2000 is arguably the greatest statistical season in NBA history. Okay? Get the right goddamn coach. You still have a very capable Anthony Davis who has been shunned by this league because of you guys and the fact that most of the voters are all from those pieces of shit up in the Northeast and via Ohio. Yes, that's where they're from. And I'm going to find you guys all.
All right. So with that, there was a response to that Laker Nick helped us find. Let me go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and pop it on screen here. This is from our friends at Google. So I want to go ahead and make sure that you know that it is right there. I think that's this one right here. And let's go ahead. It's at 312. Yep. Let's see if we can go ahead and get that on the screen there and see what happens with Joe. And see if we can go ahead and get that on the screen there and see what Google thinks of Joe's. Oh, that's not the right one. Let's go ahead and get that. See if I can get that. Share this tab instead. There you go. All right. There it is. And already and away we go.
Ever feel like, you're so into your team? It's more than just being a fan.
Oh, absolutely. It's like you're right there with them. Every win, every loss, man, you feel it.
Totally. And today, we're diving into that intensity. We're talking about die-hard LA Lakers fans.
All right, Lakers fans. Now, those are some passionate folks right there.
You said it.
Yeah.
And we've got this clip from a Lakers fan podcast. This guy, he does not hold back.
Well, this is going to be good. Lay it on us.
So he's fired up about the team's performance, Riley. Thinks they need some serious changes.
Well, the Lakers have had, let's just say, an interesting couple of seasons. Fans have opinions.
And how? This guy, he's calling for a new coach straight up. He's like, get the right goddamn coach. He's also really fired up about how Anthony Davis is being treated. He even says AD is shunned by this league.
You see this a lot with fans. When their team isn't living up to expectations, it becomes about respect. Like, hey, you're not just criticizing us, you're disrespecting us.
Exactly. And he takes it even further. He starts calling out sports media, saying they're biased against the Lakers. He's going off about how most voters for awards are from those pieces up in the Northeast and via Ohio.
Whoa. Okay, so we're getting into some interesting territory here. This idea of regional bias, it's something that comes up a lot, not just in basketball, but across all sports.
For sure. And to prove his point, he brings up Shaq back in 2000.
Shaq? What is he saying? Shaq got snubbed for MVP or something?
He brings up this guy, Fred Hickman. Apparently, Hickman voted for Allen Iverson that year. The fan claims Hickman was the only one that didn't vote for Shaq for MVP.
Wow. Whether you agree with him or not, you got to respect the passion. This guy is fired up about his team. It's almost like he feels personally wronged by how the Lakers are being treated.
Totally. And he even threatens to, expose all these voters. He says, I'll find you guys all when I get a bigger forum.
Oh, man, watch out, sports media world. No, but seriously, it's fascinating how fans now, they have these platforms to share their opinions, to connect with other fans, and, yeah, sometimes to call out what they see as injustice.
And it makes you wonder, how has that changed things? Are fans more influential now than they used to be? I mean, back in the day, you had to write a letter to the editor, maybe call into a radio show. Now you can just tweet something out and potentially have millions of people see it.
Right. And it's not just Twitter. You've got podcasts, YouTube channels, forums, entire communities dedicated to specific teams and players. The whole game has changed. And it's fascinating to see how these fan-driven platforms have become part of the conversation.
Absolutely. It just goes to show the love of the game runs deep, man. And for some fans, like this Lakers fan, it goes beyond just cheering for your team. It's about standing up for them, even when they're down.
100%. It's like they're fighting for their team's legacy, their place in history. It's more than just a game to them. It's personal.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's what makes being a fan so compelling, right? That passion, that dedication.
No doubt. All right, folks, that's another deep dive in the books. Until next time, keep those conversations going. Whether you're cheering for the underdog or debating the latest MVP race, remember, it's all part of the fun.
So that's number one. I'm going to play one more. Okay. Just humor me here for a couple more minutes. Once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. It is Joe Soro ranting once again, with some more his more epic rants. This one's going to be even better because this is the one I think that got us banned on TikTok. So let me go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and play it here coming up right now, setting it up for you. So this is the one I think that got us banned on TikTok. And again, to everyone out there, the response is coming up after this. So let me go ahead and play this now. Again, this is available as a short on our YouTube channel.
NBA players, please.
Good question on Bronny. If he gets drafted, it's not going to be by any other team but the Los Angeles Lakers.
Don't interrupt me again when we're talking about NBA players, please.
Well, I'm just
bringing
saying
up some bullshit.
50. Remember, they have a pick at 55.
I don't give a shit if they're picking 99.
Well, if they want to throw away,
you could have 200 picks. You interrupted my talk.
Sorry, Joe.
About a 5 goddamn point a game player.
Here we go.
You can't drive 55.
I could have scored 5 points a game at USC. Yes, I said it. Put me in the game and let's see. Give me 2 to 3 months. Give me 2 to 3 months. Okay? Let me get into really good shape and I'll get you 5 points a game.
Good question on Bronny. All right, if he gets drafted, and I'm gonna go ahead and play the response made by Google's Notebook LM experimental AI. Our good friend Laker Nick, who did a great job of this. I am truly indebted to you for bringing up. He brought up for one of his work issues and work projects, but he shared it with us and dropped it in there and created this. So this is Google's AI response to Joe's outburst coming up for you right about now.
Okay, so we've got someone's like YouTube rant here, and it's all about this whole Bronny James draft pick thing.
Yeah.
And this is intense.
Intense.
I mean, this isn't just like, oh, I disagree with that. This is some next level stuff.
This is deep in the trenches of what it means to be a fan and sort of the emotional side of all of it.
Well, and especially with a team like the Lakers.
Right. Like the Lakers, Celtics,
they've got history.
Huge history, Yankees, teams like that, Cowboys. They just have this built-in fan base and legacy.
Exactly. And so you've got this clip here.
Yeah.
It's from Lakers Fast Break, I think it is.
Lakers Fast Break, yeah.
Yeah. And they are not happy. I mean, this is inept owner, useless general manager. Like,
yeah. They're not holding back.
No, this is like, they think this is just about LeBron getting his son on the team.
Outcome strategy.
Yeah. And it's just like, come on, like, are we really doing this?
You almost wonder, right? Like, are they feeling like their team is being used for a narrative or for a different story beyond just winning a championship?
Yeah. And then they hit us with, you are a playing team for the last 10th years.
It's not just about Bronny at that point. It's about the last decade. It's like a building frustration.
Yeah. So is this person, like, is this, I don't know, an outlier, or like, are we seeing something bigger here?
Is this the tip of the iceberg? I think that's always the question when you look at these sorts of fan reactions. Is this a vocal minority, or are we actually seeing something that is indicative of a much larger
Yeah.
group of fans that are unhappy with the direction.
It's almost like watching a relationship fall apart.
Yes.
You know, like there's the honeymoon phase, and then there's the wait a minute, what are we doing
The
here?
fights, the making up, and this
Yeah.
is like they're headed for divorce.
Yes. And this is the screaming match.
This is like throwing the stuff on a lawn.
And to me it's like how much loyalty is too much?
That is the question.
Right.
Because there's something to be said about sports and the fandom and the loyalty, and it's almost tribal, right?
Oh yeah.
But how much is too much?
And then when does it become unhealthy?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Where's that line? And I don't know that there's an easy answer to that.
Right.
It's different for everybody.
It is. It is. So as we kind of like wrap up this deep dive, what was your like biggest takeaway from all of this?
I think it's just fascinating how much emotion fans pour into this.
Oh yeah.
You know? And it makes you think about, how much is riding on these wins and losses, not just for the team and the organization,
Right.
but for the city, for the
Exactly.
fans, for everybody involved, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is people's identities.
Yeah.
And when their team isn't doing well,
Yes.
it's almost like a part of them isn't doing well.
It's so true. And I think that's something that, we all have to keep in mind, right?
We do.
Whether you're a diehard fan or just a casual observer, there's a lot more to it. And I think that's something that's worth thinking about.
Absolutely.
So there you have it. That's our deep dive into this whole Bronny James thing. And
The psychology of a fan. Really.
yeah, and what it really means to be a fan. So that's all the time we have for today, but let us know what you think. Hit us up on social media.
Let us know your breaking point.
Yes. Oh, what's your breaking point?
When have you reached your limit with a team?
There you go, yeah. All right, we'll catch you guys next time.
So you've now been immortalized in AI. Joe. How does it feel?
It's interesting how technology can be these days.
I thought it was hilarious the first time I heard it. Just the deep dive on the, and it only took, I guess, a few seconds for Nick to come up with it. So yeah, it was absolutely.
There's gonna be bridges burned in the future. I'm ready for it. AI is gonna be probably the least of my worries,
All right, fair enough.
and I'm gonna have to turn up the volume even bigger, even louder.
And I'm sure we'll be ready to hear it here at the Lakers Fast Break. But again, tomorrow's game is the Minnesota Timberwolves. It's coming live from Palm Springs. It'll be on First Spectrum and all that. But you can also catch it as far as playback.tv. Our chat is concerned, playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. Truly appreciate you joining us out there. Again, like and subscribe. Become a member today for just $2.99 a month. Go ahead and get big shout outs. Also, as well, emojis, badges, and more. But Joe, any last thoughts on training camp as we leave training camp and head into the exhibition season before we head on out?
I think I've made my peace.
Fair enough. Tomorrow will be a nightcap after the game. Again, it'll be a Joe Soro. So there you go. Brian Green says AI orders a wellness check. Again, when Nick sent that to me, I was rolling. Deep dive.
It's an interesting discussion. That's kind of off topic. When something becomes when we think that what happens today is the first time it's happened. It's not. Human beings have been human beings for a very, very long time. The only thing that's really changed is technology. And when you look at Orwellian type discussions, all that gentleman did was tell you something that we were when he was alive. And him saying that this will be this in the future, it's not much of a stretch, guys. It's not hard to figure people out. Takes a minute, takes a few years, decades when you mature. But humans haven't changed, folks. Not since the Roman times, not since the Egyptians, not since the Assyrians, or whoever started this, not since Adam and Eve. Hell, the story of Adam and Eve, true or not, let's say it's true. There were two people on this planet and they still screwed it up. That's the button on that.
Before we head on out, Joe, $7,000. Thank you so much again for the super chat. Truly appreciate it. Always welcome to do so, everyone out there, and it does help the channel. Thank you again. He's asking you, Joe, top 5 rock bands between the 70s and the 90s. Man, that's so broad. Man, you're talking about what, the rock era of the 70s, then you got into the new waves of the 80s. If you're including the 90s, are you including the grunge era? The rise of rap, like we talked about on last night's show that you brought up. Man, that's such a broad, that's decades, 3 decades worth of music, man.
So top 5 rock bands according to what I like, or the top 5?
Yeah, it would have to be. I put it towards you like, because I don't think you could really just put top 5 bands. I mean, that's tough. Yeah.
If I had to pick the top 5 that I like, The Doors, Metallica.
I had a feeling we were going to say The Doors.
The Doors, Led Zeppelin, Metallica.
Would you go into grunge if you're talking, including the 90s, as far as those?
I wasn't into grunge. I mean, I liked a lot of the music, but I wasn't into it.
Guns N' Roses.
I would say
Nirvana,
Guns N' Roses was probably
Pearl Jam.
Alternative stuff wasn't necessarily my. I liked certain songs, but I wasn't into it as much.
Eltro, that's good. AC/DC, Queen. I mean, if you were into new wave, the British invasion in the 80s.
There you go. So it's AC/DC, Metallica, Led Zeppelin, The Doors, and I drew a blank on the other one. Guns N' Roses.
Okay. Yeah, just so many. I mean, there's so many great bands with different music styles, whether you went rock, when you went heavy metal, hair metal bands, new wave. Again, really the rise of rap at that point in time. Then you got into grunge in the 90s. U2, I love U2, JY. U2 is just simply an awesome band.
Pink Floyd,
my all-time favorite.
Replace Guns N' Roses with Pink Floyd. Sorry, that should have been the one I remembered.
Pink Floyd just sold its, I guess its whole entire, was it Pink Floyd? For $400 million? I think it was Pink Floyd. Yeah, that they just sold their entire album listing. I confirmed that, but it was for, I think it was playing Pink Floyd.
To who?
I think it was to Sony Music. Yeah, it's Sony for $400 million, and their likeness, the whole 9 yards. $400 million. So if people wanted to know what Pink Floyd is worth at this stage of life, $400 million. Dire Straits, good one, Brian. 7, Whitesnake, yeah. ABBA dominated the 70s. Kiss, JY, absolutely. Aerosmith, so many great bands from 70s, 80s, 90s. It's just so hard to choose. But yeah, great discussion today. Even the the AI bots from Google got into the mix with Joe. So hopefully you will have some better comments coming your way. You can put it down below, or you can, like Rodell, send it to us, LakersFastBreak@yahoo.com. But we'll be back tomorrow, playback.tv/LakersFastBreak. Join us there. I may, if I can, will be able to try and simulcast it on the YouTube channel. And then, of course, most importantly, after the game, you'll get the Joe Soro nightcap season opener for him coming up after the first exhibition game between Minnesota and the Lakers coming up tomorrow from your friends right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast.